One.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Witcher Bloodletting Session 3. How's everybody doing today? Good?
It's less warm, so I can probably keep this on without too much discomfort now.
Yeah, the temperature really did drop around here, too, the past 2 days, which is nice. How about you, Messi?
I'm extremely upset.
Are you?
No, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I mean, I have no complaints. Well, we are missing Bastion right now, but that's okay.
Rest in peace, he fell in the shower.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, he's literally faceplanted in the shower. So, but that's cool because the session's going to pick up in a spot where Bastion's not even a person. So,
He never existed.
no, he was a figment of your imaginations. He was drowning, and you guys were like, "I'm just. This makes me feel good to think about."
Yeah. I don't feel like getting
Now
wet.
I'm in my happy place.
So, all right. So, anyways, the last session. So let's just do a quick little recap of the past 2 days. The two of you had found yourself. This is Bastion and Leonard. Had found yourselves into a prison of a bunch of racists. They didn't like the fact that there were elves or dwarves around, or the fact that you guys were witchers. So they found transgressions, whether they be legitimate or otherwise, and locked you into like a work camp prison. While you were locked up in there, Leonard, there, honestly, for your own reasons, somebody approached you and offered you a way out, and you guys chose to accept the offer. The mage had used his magics to make you invisible, and you guys started to escape. When Leonard was like, "Yeah, we can't leave quite just yet. There's a werewolf issue." You guys went back to the town and resolved that issue pretty handedly. I mean, honestly, was it a bit of a scary fight? Sure, but you had it well in your control. You changed somewhat of the opinion of the townsfolk there, and then you traveled on north and a little bit west of where you were prior. The plan, of course, to track down why that man became a werewolf, why that had all happened, follow the one lead that you had. Along the way, while you guys were resting, you got attacked by some drowners. You went into the town and found out that's because they were in the town before and were kind of like scared off. And after hearing a little...
You're glossing over the part where Bastion almost died.
Nah, details.
Well, technically twice almost died. In the first fight of drowners, it was a little rough. After hearing about the drowners being chased off, you guys went to go investigate the area where they were prior, hoping to find treasures, and you did, but almost at Bastion, while watching Bastion almost get drowned by a drowner. Actually, a drowned one, which is far more frightening.
Very spooky.
While you guys were out there, Leonard had set up to have a couple of items commissioned to be made of silver. And lastly, the inn where you guys are currently sitting, Bastion off to the side having his drinks, Leonard and Bran sitting at the bar enjoying a drink. The bartender literally stepped away to grab, I think it was a drink of the finest. To send kind of like cheap crap over to Bastion, but tell him it was one of the finest drinks that they had in the establishment. As he walked away, Bran looked up and saw a wanted poster. Not my apologies. Leonard looked up and saw a wanted poster with Bran's face sketched on it and saying "wanted for questioning."
I mean, I noticed it as well, and I walked up and I just casually took it off.
So we're gonna pick up at the moment where literally Leonard sees it right now, because Leonard has a passive perception and investigation of 18 and 19 respectively. So
I'm pretty sure I rolled to see it, but
he immediately sees it. Give me 1 second. That's all something that doesn't matter. That's all fake news right there.
What? Everything's fake news?
I'm just scrolling up to see things. Yeah, there's no roll for perception. So what is your passive for me, please, Rick? As we pick up, you guys are
it's an 11.
You guys are in the tavern, listening to the cheers and whatnot of the guys back behind you, having their fun, laughing, so on and so forth. You have what's his name there? Bastion is giving his drink. He's like, yeah, super happy to receive it. What was your passive?
11.
11. So you do not notice it immediately, though you would pick it up in a couple moments anyways. Why don't you roll me your perception check?
I'm talking to Bran.
Oh
my God.
Actually, you do notice it. Literally,
I'll drink to that.
the moments that your luck in this game, Rick, is absolutely insane. You notice it literally the same moment that Leonard does. So Leonard looks up and sees it. It's kind of like you look over and you see Leonard and seeing it, and you see it yourself. I imagine you said you get up and you go over there. Okay.
Yeah.
You are in a tavern. There are other people here, and you would have to go behind the bar to grab the thing. Are you gonna roll me a stealth or sleight of hand? If you want to like reach over, sleight of hand, walk around stealth.
I mean, they're both awful. I'm gonna roll a stealth.
Okay. Not terrible for a bar that's relatively distracted. So Leonard, obviously, he's not stealthing past you. You're literally sitting next to him watching him. So so all of a sudden he slips behind the bar and goes over to grab the poster. Do you say anything or do anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay. You walk over, you grab the bar, and so you go over there, you grab the thing and pull it down. As you are starting to come back around, all of a sudden you hear, "Hey, what are you doing back there?" As the bartender starts swiftly making his way back over.
Just having a look at some of the posters over there. Some interesting faces on there.
He quickly makes his way over to where the bar is. You can clearly... so actually, roll me an insight check. Both of you can.
What a terrible cover-up. Insight?
Oh, Jesus. You guys are going to be getting lots of nat 20s this game. So, without Dunce being there, it's like he's not pulling down the luck pool. So, Messi, you immediately tell as he's making his way over that like you can like see the way he's croning his head, the way he's like trying to look around the bar and everything. He's looking to see if there's anything in Bran's hand. Bran, you don't really notice that. You can just see he's coming over to confront you.
Can I quickly like hide the thing in my sleeve?
Sure, that's gonna be a sleight of hand. He can't currently see your hand, so I would give you advantage on that.
Cool. How do we do the Witcher pool thing again?
You're gonna roll 1d6 afterwards, and you can say after the effect, before you know the result.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
I
What were you gonna say, sir?
Christ. I was gonna ask if I can make a distraction.
Absolutely, you can. What's your? You can roll me a intimidate, persuasion, or deception based off what you're trying to do. What are you saying to him?
Yeah. Okay. I'll Is there anyone sitting next to me?
Nope. It was just Bren. Everybody else is over with Bastion.
All right. Can I just I'm just gonna lunge over the counter and grab a beer and be like, "You took so long. I was having him get me a beer," and then I start chugging the one in my hand.
The guy is so when you say that, he like will slow to like look over at you. Rick, so that's gonna lower the DC. So Rick, you quickly take that moment to slip it under your hands, and then he looks to you and he's like, "You got a bear in your hand?" And he makes his way around the bar to look at your hands and sees nothing there, of course.
So.
Oh, right. Well, I turned to him and was like, "Well, now that you're here, I don't have to anymore." And I just casually like walk back.
Okay, so he like stands there in your way. So as you walk back, he's like clearly in your way. It's one of those things where you know it's only going to last a moment or so. And so he moves to the side. I did describe him before as being kind of large. So when he turns sideways to let you pass, you do have to kind of like squeeze past him. You know what I mean? It is not comfortable. And he watches after you as you make your way past him and back over to your seat.
I just take like a deep swig of my drink.
Okay. He continues to stand there as you like take your swig and watches you for a couple more seconds. And then he goes back behind the bar and immediately goes over to like where he has his cash stored, where he has like the coin and whatnot stored to make sure everything looks fine. It takes about 10 minutes or so for him to settle down a little bit with being just absolutely livid. But after some time, he does just kind of get into the mindset of, okay, this is fine.
He's just annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, I imagine you're quiet at first. Do you pick up any conversation as time goes, or do you allow this kind of visit to the bar to be relatively quiet?
I'd probably just sit and listen.
Yeah, after I see the bartender calm down a little bit, I'll just slap down the whatever gold I pay for my drinks, and then I'm just gonna walk outside by myself.
Okay. So you threw that drink money down, and you were already covered bastions earlier and everything, and you leave. Brad, I imagine you follow after him.
Yeah, not immediately, but soon after.
Sure. So the plan today was obviously you got your money and everything that you needed, Leonard. You were going to go to the smith to pick up your items.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're going to head in that direction. Brand can follow you if he'd like. It's not a far walk there.
Sure.
Okay. So as you guys are making your way over there, sorry, I'm just literally setting up. So you guys are going to have, what's it called? A handout called Witcher Sense. So you can see how many you currently have.
Sweet. Also, Dunce is back
useful.
for whenever.
Yeah. We'll just do that at the 1 hour break. So you guys are making your way over to the blacksmiths, so you can pick up the items that you had commissioned, or at least check on them, or at least finish paying, or whatever the case may be. And so you're making your way over there. Bran, you're following behind him. Do you guys bring up the subject at all of what just transpired? Or you just kind of like lit it?
Nope.
Sleeping dogs lie.
Nope.
Not yet.
Okay. So you get to the blacksmith shop. To kind of like check on things, make sure everything's working well or whatever. As you head over there, the young boy happens to be sitting outside, but on the other side. So again, the way the shop is set up, there's of course the building with the roof and the four walls or whatever, and then there's the part overhead that is almost like a carport where it has pillars that hold up the roof, but there's no walls other than the one that abuts the actual shop itself. The boy, as you're approaching, is sitting on the other side of the shop, and he's standing on the other side of the shop, and he has your sword in his hands, and he's like swinging it around and whacking against trees and stuff with this. Now, on one hand, I imagine that you're happy or whatever that he's practicing with it, like you requested, but on the other, he is beating against like a wooden stump in a tree with a silvered weapon. So
right. And I see him doing this?
Yeah, you see that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I guess I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, son of a bitch. I guess like in my mind I'll be like that. But on the outside I'll be like, boy, come here. Bring the sword.
He comes kind of looping your way because obviously you had told him to do that. So at first there's like that moment of like fear when he like hears your voice and like looks over and sees you and looks down and sees the weapon. But then it's kind of like he remembers and then starts looping his way over to you.
And I'll hold out my hand so he can return the sword to me.
Mm-hmm. He does.
How was it, boy? No, sheath it.
He's like, oh, it's weird to. I sometimes get to play with swords here and there because, obviously, working here, I get to play with the things that they make, especially the not good ones. I mean, that one's very weird. It doesn't balance the same way a regular sword does, and it has no cut to it.
It's a silver blade.
Why would you use a silver if it doesn't have cut to it?
And I'll like motion the boy to come closer, and I'll like go to his ear and like whisper him a secret, and I'll be like, "The monsters don't like silver." And I'll like give him a little tap on the shoulder again.
He's like, oh, like he's obviously this kind of stuff's new to him. And so he's thinking about it. He's like, what does it hurt them?
It doesn't make them feel good. Hey, tell you what, is your the man that looks after you, is he around?
Yeah, he's was just getting things ready to work on. Oh, he has one of your daggers done.
One of them.
He said it's going to take some time to do the others. He was cussing a lot. Apparently, working with silver is a little different than working with regular steel, and so he was cussing a lot.
Well, don't you repeat any of those, okay? too late.
Do it.
Why don't you go get him for me? I want to have a word with him.
Yep, he runs off. So again, it's not like this is like some young kid. You know what I mean? He's like 5 or 6 or so. He is just a boy, like in his pre-teens to early teens. But like he just seems to be enamored now with the fact that he's been able to like hold the sword and use it. He knows what a witcher is, and it's very exciting to him. So, anyways, he does run off. He gets the guy. He comes back just a few moments later. It doesn't take him very long, and he comes over and he's got that like puss face on again. He looks very upset, and he comes over and he's like, "Yeah."
Heard you're having some problems with the daggers.
They're a pain in the ass.
How long do you think they'll be?
Got one done. It's been a day, so maybe 5 more.
Oh, jeez. Let me see the one you finished.
He goes. He's like, you wanted the 3. I'll let you see the 3
Okay.
when they're all done.
Oh, so you won't let me see the progress?
Yeah, you wanted to pay for the 3 of them, so.
I gave you half the money up front. You won't let me have one.
It's kind of interrupting my work. All right, it's shit, okay? And he says he literally pulls it out from his belt because he has it with him. You just didn't see that it was a silvered one. He pulls it out and he hands it to you. And like when you look at the thing, it's
shit.
It's shit. Like the thickness of the blade near the center, working down towards the thinner edges, is not even on both sides. The actual blade itself has a bit of a warp to it. You know what I mean? The point is a bit. It's almost like because it comes to a point too abruptly, so it doesn't have enough of a point. It's more of like you'd be stabbing somebody with a sharpened spoon, sort of a thing. It's
DC shit.
It's not as good quality as clearly he was planning or you were expecting.
I gave you 150 gold for this.
No,
Are you sure you can
300
even,
for 3?
Are you sure you can even have it done in 5 days, or were they all going to look like this?
Well, I did this in 1 day, so maybe if you come back when I have the correct time, I can do the correct job.
Can you fix this one, or do you have to start over?
Yep.
I'm taking the sword back.
Fair. You can see he's like really furious, but he has like no leg to stand on right now.
All right, I'll come check in a couple days. If they look like this when I come back, then I don't want them.
We'll discuss the deal then.
Very optimistic.
Okay. Very well.
And he takes the thing back from you and like goes walking back into the thing. But it's one of those things where as he goes walking away from you and back into his shop, he has like a bit more like step in his step. He's like a bit more quick. He's clearly like a bit embarrassed with the quality of work that is done here. Unfortunately, working with silver, it is very difficult compared to working with silver. Like making a dagger, you can imagine he's done a ton of times before, but silver is not easy. You know what I mean? You're kind of like adding it into the process to coat it at the ends, but you need a strong binding so it's not like flaking or you're like literally plating it with silver, right?
He knows how to do it. He's just not skilled enough in doing it.
Correct. It's like he knows the process. It's not something easy to do.
Gotcha.
So, all right. So, you guys kind of like standing around now, literally standing outside the shop, going, "Okay, now we're stuck here for 4 or 5 more days."
Bren, I think I just wasted 300 gold. Or at least the 150.
It does appear like it, yes.
Hey, how much is your bounty worth?
He just gives you a look.
I mean, we have to talk about it eventually. What was that?
So you figure that out in the middle of the street is the best way to do it?
What time of day is it?
It's later in the day at the moment, but honestly, it's one of those things. You look around, you see somebody to your right. They're like over there, literally picking their nose. You look off to your left, you see 3 kids over there running around playing some game. You're not sure what they're playing, but they all have sticks in their hands, and 2 of them are kind of fervently beating on one of them.
You afraid of the children? Think they're going to turn you in? And I'll give them like a
I'm
glare.
just saying that everyone has ears.
Mm.
And they might know someone desperate enough to look for a bounty. I'm sure you have questions.
Witch hunters, huh?
Witch hunters.
Yeah, not a very nice group when it comes to witches. Mages. Especially the rogue ones. What do they got on you?
They walked up to me at some point in a street in a town to the south from here. They started asking questions because, I don't know, they thought I seemed the type.
They thought you seen the type.
Yes. And then,
Are you wearing a big sign that said I'm a mage?
no, apparently they just don't like robed figures. I tell you, it's like the fashion police all over again.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back to the
Well,
point.
hold on. See, typically, they don't concern themselves with low profiles. They usually go after high-value targets, right? I know a few of them. I wouldn't say I'm close to them, but I would say they've been helpful. So, I know them. And it doesn't seem like you're the type they'd be after unless you have something they want or you've done something they didn't like. So which is it?
Well, they were asking people in the town because a bunch of strange things have been happening. As I'm sure you're aware that strange things often happen around sources.
I see.
Eventually, they struck a nerve. And it basically happened right in front of their face.
You threatened them.
I
was it
did
worse?
not threaten them. I did no such thing.
Details,
However,
man. Come on.
They were pressing me in the streets, accusing me of things, crimes, people gone missing, things clearly done by animals. And yet they wanted to pin it on a source.
Scapegoat.
Exactly. Eventually, phenomenons happened. And to them, that was basically an admission of guilt.
A witch hunt. A real witch hunt.
Yeah.
It's just strange. You said you're from the south, right?
Yes.
How far?
It's hard to tell. Quite a march by now.
And they're putting up posters here. Because you dazzled some lights in their eyes. What are you accused of?
I take out the poster and I look at it. What does it say?
It says wanted for questioning, but it doesn't say. It doesn't even say who wants you. It doesn't say anything else. It just says wanted for questioning.
I tuck it back in, discreetly, and there's not a lot of detail on here.
Is there a price? Sorry. Old habits.
They're very vague on details.
I think it's...
all I can tell you is that I have done nothing wrong, and they seem to think that I have.
Look, if it weren't for you, things wouldn't be very good right now. We'd probably be man short, we'll admit. But at the same time, if we all perish at the hands of witch hunters because of you, I just don't want to be the idiot that ends up falling for a mistake he shouldn't have stuck around for. And I give him like a deep look, like a, I'm not past abandoning you if I have to, sort of thing.
Okay.
I'm really bummed about my daggers, though. Something to be
Well, we
nice.
can always have a talk with the blacksmith when we return.
Yeah.
If his quality is still
Well, the bash
left to desire, then
Is it getting late? Sun going down?
Yeah, it is. It is later today because you guys were drinking earlier today and everything too. So it is getting later on. You guys look to go spend the night in a room, or
Do we still have the room at the inn?
correct?
Do we have enough gold for another night? Maybe we should just sleep outside like we did in the camp. Hopefully drowners won't get us again.
I mean, we could have a look, see if we can find a reasonably safe site to set up camp. We'll have to go and collect Bastion, of course. If nothing else, he's useful as bait.
Right, of course.
And he just smirks.
Finding a place to set up camp would be relatively easy. You just need to make me a survival check to find what you think is a good spot. I imagine one of you can do that while the other one goes and collects Bastion.
I'll go get Bastion.
Okay, so Leonard, that leaves you with the survival check.
All right, let's see how we do.
Fucking hell. Feast or famine?
Earlier, somebody had said in chat, "RNG give it." RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. Oh,
Thanks, chat. You
oh.
fucking.
That's so funny. So
It's not.
yeah. So you guys are going to you're going to go and find a spot out in the middle of the woods while he goes and gets Bastion. When they come back to find you, it's one of those things where when they come back to find where Leonard has set up his spot, excuse me, you find him incredibly easily. It's literally you come outside of town and right at the top of a hill outside of town, you spot him no problem. And I mean, even Bran, you spot him no problem.
Can I, like, walk up behind him without me seeing him? I want to try a stealth check.
Oh, okay. Stealth.
Even though he's got a passive perception of fuck you.
Of 18, yeah. Good luck.
Oh, crap. I erked it.
You Eric it.
You still had 2 good rolls, though. I'm upset.
But now he's going to roll the natty 20. Because I think it's the only... Oh, I tickled that 19 for a second. It tickled the 19. But, okay, so unfortunately with the 2, you hear him coming from ages away.
Okay, I'm just gonna like lean back on the hill and look over the town. Be like, this is a nice view. And I'm gonna like just keep mental notes of like where they're coming up from. And, like about how far away they are, because I really want to be like, hey, look at this view as soon as I get here, but I'm waiting for them to get close enough for it to be socially acceptable to say it.
Yep, and you can easily trace exactly that.
Cool.
So once they get close enough that you can do so, and honestly, his stealth check is so poor, he probably is kind of realizing as he's getting close how bad it is because he like step on it.
Yeah, I just give up halfway through because I'm like, this is pointless.
It's honestly, it's one of those things where it's not even good enough that he could think that he passed. He knows it's terrible. But either way, you can do what you like, Leonard.
Is Bastion like super drunk right now?
Yeah, it's literally he's walking of his own. He's able to control himself, but he is one of those like he'll like look up, but then like his head swoons and like his shoulders swoon as well, and like every once in a while he'll stop and he'll kind of like lean on a tree, and then like you can tell that the way he's holding the tree, that the tree's probably moving on him a considerable amount. It's definitely, he's dizzy. He's got the spins.
You know, Bran, I thought this town looked like shit, but from a distance, if you really squint, it actually looks like a real town.
Perhaps. A shitty town at best. So,
It's a
I
shitty
see
town.
A fan of the view out here?
Yeah. You know, I used to live so deep in the city, I never really got a good view of the land, the area, the stars. A little too busy trying, to afford the ceiling. Didn't really take into account what was beyond it.
I will happily leave you with this serene scene of yours. But this is not a real good place to camp. We're bloody skyline from miles from here.
Tell you what, I'm gonna stay here. Why don't you go find one? I'm a little tired of looking.
You know what? Sure.
Shit over here.
Keep an eye on Bastion. He might, I don't know, do something horrible.
Yeah, he's fine. He'll probably pass out soon enough. I'll just drag him over.
Alright, I just walk off and I start to search for a better place.
Sure. So with your 14, you do find another spot on the other side of the hill, behind a few trees and whatnot. That does take the fun away, because you guys were going to be so exposed. I was going to have fun with that.
Yeah, I figured you would.
But,
I figured you would.
So,
but for some reason, the guy that's being hunted by witch hunters doesn't want to stay out in the open.
Yeah. So you're able to find a better spot, and you guys can go there and crash for the evening. So you do go down there and you spend your night, sleep, and pass out. While you're overnight, obviously you hear, what's his name, Bastion has a bit of a rough night. He consumed a considerable amount of alcohol while he was there, like a considerable amount, and so he actually has a bit of a rough night getting over it. The next morning, when you guys come to, it's a bit of a rainy day, so you literally wake up and the area that you're in is wet, your clothes are a bit damp, so on and so forth. It's not a very nice day. You don't get attacked by anything overnight, no concerns about any of that kind of stuff. When you do get up, what's his name there? Bastion is still passed out, like he's still out cold. Witchers have an incredibly high metabolism, but he definitely drank enough that would kill a normal man, like twice over.
Sweet.
So, when you guys wake up, I imagine Leonard is the first one to wake.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually make a potion. I'm gonna make a white honey.
Well, hold on 1 second. So when you wake, you're
Okay.
because you're gonna make that the next morning, right?
Yeah, in the morning. Yes. Yeah.
So you're gonna see there's a guy sitting on a rock nearby.
Never mind.
While you're when you wake up and you kind of look over in that direction, there's gonna be a guy that's sitting on a rock nearby, overlooking where you guys are sleeping. I mean, again, Witchers more meditate than sleep, but you do still,
So I'm just staring at this guy on the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Does he notice me staring at him?
He's looking the opposite direction, like he's looking outwards.
I'm just gonna lean back and put my hand over Brand's mouth and then just kind of try to tap him awake real quick.
I imagine I awake and feel a hand on my mouth. I quickly check to see whose hand it is.
Yeah, Leonard.
I give him a look, but I don't say anything.
Just put my finger between my lips and I'm like, shh, don't say anything. And then I point at the guy on the rock. Does he look like a witch hunter from the back?
Honestly, he does. It's one of those, as you take it in, you can see the dark clothes, you can see the sword hanging from his back. He has another weapon, a mace, at his side. He's got the look to him of witch hunter.
We might have been better off on the hill.
Somehow I doubt staying in the complete open would be a good idea.
I mean, if he's just sitting there, he probably knows. We're kind of fucked. There's definitely more than one of them. They wouldn't just, turn around and let us wake up. I'm thinking we talk to him.
I'm thinking we don't have much choice.
Very well. Good morning.
He looks over in your direction. When he sees that you're awake, he swings his legs around, then drops off the rock, and stands there with his arms crossed across his chest and says, "Not very, but morning."
Rough night for you too.
Walks through it. Came down a bit hard at one point.
It rained.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was the falling of the rain that hid my footsteps from you.
Yeah, I was also thinking about other things. Just anyway, what brings you to our humble camp?
I saw a couple of fools lying around sleeping. I just thought, hey, this is a nice spot where some drowners probably nearby. Figured I would use you as bait.
Oh, so you fancy yourself a witcher, do you?
No, I'm a witch hunter. And then when you say that, it's almost like looking you over and seeing like all of your features. He's like, but I'm coming to believe that you're more than just some fool sleeping on the ground, aren't you?
No. Just couldn't afford in. Thanks for looking after us.
While all this going on, I'm still just like trying my best to just be there and pretending to sleep.
You haven't gotten a good look at him yet, Bran. So obviously you're just hearing the voice. Voice
Did you
doesn't
say?
seem familiar.
Did you say witch hunter?
Correct.
What brings a witch hunter to the forest outside of this little shitty city town?
Passing through on the road, we heard that there was rumors of drowners, rumors that apparently a couple of witchers passed through that may have handled the drowners, but they numbered in 3. I only see 2 of you sleeping over there.
I'm gonna look around and try to see what he's talking about. 2 people. What does that mean? And I'm look around.
There's obviously you and Bran. Bastion is not right next to you guys. At some point in time, he later rolled down the hill.
Oh.
We just find him with his pants down and there's a hole in a tree and just...
Yes. Witches, really.
And he starts walking a bit closer, because you guys are having a bit of a far conversation. He starts walking towards you.
I'm gonna, do I have a blanket near me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw my blanket around my shoulders and snuggle up in it and be like, it's cold morning, isn't it? And cough and cover my mouth. Just try to cover up as much as possible.
Yep. He says, yeah, it is. So, you hear about these drowners yourself or no?
We burned the lake a few days back. The drowners all should have gone south. I don't see why any would still be here.
Yeah, that was the rumor, that they went south and some witches bumped into them south of town.
Witches from the south, Oh, there was a town. They had a camp. They said they were boasting about some freaks they had there. Maybe you should check there.
Down south?
Yes, south.
I mean, I don't pay much mind to witchers. I don't hunt them. They're just doing an honest job. But they, do you know where it was? The lake is where the witchers would have fought these things.
I think it was just southwest of town.
All right, I'll gather up my troop and we'll head in that direction. Witchers can be sloppy. They come in looking for coin. They don't follow through with the job.
Yes, they. Frankly, I don't care much for them. And I'm gonna look down at the ground and act like I'm getting some gunk out of my eyes because I just woke up or something and try to cover my eyes so he doesn't see it.
Yep. And then he'll go to leave. He stops and he holds his hand out to shake yours, to be polite, like a good Met sort of a thing. But does your character continue to rub his eyes?
Shit. I'll just act like I'm stretching and then just reach up, grab it real quick, shake it, and be like, good luck, and then get up and turn away.
I'm gonna have to roll you have you roll a deception check because obviously you've been a little off.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Oh,
come on. Fuck me.
So he does stare at you, and he's like,
shit.
"So you said just southeast of town, right?
Southwest.
Southwest of town. That's where
Yeah.
the Witchers fought it."
Yeah. That's where the witches fought it.
He says, "Very well," and turns and he starts walking off in that direction.
Can I inside him as he like says very well and he's walking away?
Sure, you go right ahead.
Aren't you faking being asleep?
You're gonna get like disadvantage on it because of the you're just listening the whole time. You're not getting any body language. And so,
Worth a shot.
yeah, so like you're watching, you're listening after him, and unfortunately, you don't catch any significant meaning to the what he's saying beyond your typical inference of he's clearly a little suspicious of the whole scenario. He does at one point in time down the as he's walking away call up, "You've got another down here. He doesn't look good," but keeps walking off. Okay.
Right. I think that went well.
I mean, he didn't try to string me up. I'll take it.
He was pretty awkward, if you think about it. Like, how long do you think he's been sitting there just watching us sleep? Like, you don't think that's a little weird?
Scott, you said I recognize his voice, maybe?
No, you did not recognize his voice.
Oh. Okay, I thought you said something along those lines. Well, just seems like an eager witch hunter, I guess.
Very well. No skin off my back. Ah,
I'm gonna slowly make my way towards Bastion.
yeah, I'm gonna... Do we have a fire? A campfire?
I imagine you did the night beforehand.
Went out in the rain?
But it's been rained on anyway, so now all the leftover wood is kind of really damp too. But you can make your way over to Bastion. When you see Bastion on the ground, he's actually not doing well at all. He's kind of writhing a little bit, and he's doing a bit of groaning. He's doing a bit of writhing. I mean, he drank a lot of alcohol, but he should be fine. Anyways, why don't we take our first break, and when we come back, we'll see what the hell's going on. So
Sure.
We'll be back very shortly.